Alright, and up next we have the FiiO M5. This is a super small, super portable digital audio player, or DAP. You can see here, or portable high resolution music player as they call it. Looks very similar to the old iPod Nanos. I think it was a 6th generation or something. That's really tiny and small and square shaped, and has a touchscreen. A lot of people like to use those old iPod Nanos for workouts and stuff like that, because it was so portable and the form factor was really convenient. You can even mount it onto a watch band if you wanted to use it as, you know, a sort of a pseudo smartwatch type thing that only plays like music and stuff. But yeah, this one retails for $100, so it's also very similar to the Shanling M0, which I also have. So I'll be doing a comparison of these two, because a lot of people noticed this one came out last year, and I did an unboxing of this one as well. The Shanling M0 already, you know, super small and portable already, and the FiiO M5 looks very similar to the Shanling M0. Of course, these are both Chinese companies known for audio products, right? So I'd say that these two are the closest competitors to each other right now. They're both trying to fill the niche that the old small, you know, square-sized iPod Nano left. And you know, Apple doesn't really make iPods anymore. They only make the iPod Touch now, which is not a very good replacement for the old iPod Nanos and iPod Shuffles, right? Alright, so let's look at what capabilities it has. It has Qualcomm aptX HD and regular aptX, Bluetooth LDAC, of course. It's got to support all the major codecs, and I think most people would be using this with a Bluetooth player if they want to. Most people will be using this with a Bluetooth headphones, right, if they're going to use it to work out and stuff. And actually this would be a pretty good candidate to pair with my Sony wireless earbuds and see how well it works with that. And okay, let's take a look. It is high-res audio certified, as you can see. It is actually high-res audio wireless certified as well. I didn't know that there was a separate certification for that, but there is. Alright, and what do we have? Alright, we have very similar form factor to the Shanling M0, like I said. Very similar. This just came out this year though, 2019. The Shanling came out last year. It comes with a clip case, right? The Shanling M0, I believe, did not. This one, I think you had to buy the clip case separately. This one comes with a clip case, which is nice. I would actually prefer another waterproof case as well. The reason for that is because I might want to use this with some, you know, water-resistant wireless earbuds while swimming in a pool, for example, right? Or in a hot tub or something. I might be listening to music there, and I might want to bring a water-resistant portable audio player there as well, but that's kind of a missed opportunity, I think. Shanling and FiiO do not make any water-resistant players right now, which is kind of a shame, because yeah, it would be nice to relax in a hot tub, or you know, go swimming or something and be listening to music, but alas. Maybe you can find a waterproof case or something like that. Anyways, what else we get in the box? Let's see. Should be charging by USB-C, I believe. Yep, so there's a USB-C cable right here, and some manuals in Chinese, of course. It should be Chinese and English though. It's a Chinese company. There's some screen protectors that also comes with that, and a quick start guide. Alright, and yeah, that's about it. Alright, so this is a very small portable music player, and I want to compare these two, the Shanling M0 and the FiiO M5, because these are very similar music players, and most people would probably be choosing between these two if they're into this form factor. I think these are the two premium, I guess, Chinese audio companies that are kind of making these small size players right now. They both cost around the same amount, $100 each, and they both have very similar capabilities. So the FiiO, on top, headphone jack. These are dual microphones. That's something that's unique to the FiiO M5. The Shanling does not have dual microphones, and I think that's the power button. Oh, this also has coaxial out as well. So if you yeah, if you need something with a line out, a coaxial, it has that capability as well. And at the bottom there is a USB-C charger right here, and the micro SD card slot. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any controls on the side. Right, the FiiO, I mean the Shanling M0, this is the FiiO M5. Shanling M0 has a scroll wheel, which the M5 does not have. I think the M5 uses this as the volume instead. So these are volume rockers. So you have a volume rocker here. The Shanling uses a scroll wheel, which might or might not be better. Some people might prefer to have the scroll wheel instead. Also headphone out and USB-C charger. Very similar. They are very similar in size as well. Thickness is about the same. The Shanling has a covered micro SD card slot cover. This one does not have any cover for the SD card slot. It's just kind of exposed like that. So I think the Shanling might be better protected, maybe. I'm not saying this one is. Neither of them are water resistant, like I said, but the Shanling might have better protection for the SD card with the cover right there. Alright, and very, very similar in size. So let's go over the specs of these two. They both have the same size screen, 1.54 inch touchscreen, 240 by 240. They both have a clock function, which means that you can use them as a smartwatch, basically, if you have a watch band or something to put on it. I believe the M5 did come with a smartwatch band, but a watch band, but I couldn't find it. I think FiiO might have pulled it from their stores for now. They said they might be releasing another version. I'm not sure, but anyways, I was unable to get the watch band for this right now, although I know that they made one before, so they'll probably release another one in the future, and I might update my review after that. The support here, this one supports up to 512GB SD card, this one supports up to 2 terabytes. They both support all the Bluetooth codecs. They support the aptX HD and LDAC. So if you're using Bluetooth headphones, which you probably are if you're using one of these things, you don't really have any troubles there. They both support high-resolution audio files like DSD, FLAC, obviously, all the high-res files. Both have Type-C charging right here. 15 hours battery life on the Shanling and 13.5 hours of battery life on the M5. So the M5 has slightly less battery life. And the DACs now, the Shanling has an ESS Saber ES9218P DAC, and the FiiO has the AK, that's Asahi Kasei, which is a Japanese audio company, AK4377 DAC. They both have pretty good DACs. I mean, ESS Saber and Asahi Kasei are both well known for their high quality audio DACs. And this one has a separate Bluetooth chip, a CSR8675 Bluetooth chip. I'm not sure if that makes a big difference or not, but they have a separate Bluetooth chip. This one does not say what Bluetooth chip it uses. It might be built into the ESS Saber chip, but they both support the same Bluetooth codecs anyways. So I'm not sure if the separate Bluetooth chip makes a difference or not. This one has microphones, like I said. That's something that the Shanling does not have. So if you want to record voices, like if you want to use this as a voice recorder, audio recorder, you can use this one to do that. This one cannot. So if you want that extra functionality, then you'll have to go for the M5. This one also has a step counter, which the Shanling M0 does not. So it seems like the main differences between the two, they're very, very similar. Again, very similar price point, very similar features. Different DACs, although I'm pretty sure both of them are quite capable. The main differentiating feature, besides the control mechanism, this one uses a scroll wheel, this one uses a good old volume rocker, is that the FiiO M5 has microphones to record audio. The Shanling does not, and also the FiiO has a step counter, whereas the Shanling does not. So this one can kind of function as your workout assistant, I guess, if you're not gonna have a Fitbit or something. If you don't have a Fitbit already, then this can I'm not going to say substitute for one, because obviously it's not going to be as good as the Fitbit for doing your heart measurement and your steps counter and sleeping activity tracker, stuff like that. I think just getting a dedicated smartwatch might be better, or getting a Fitbit might be better, or Apple Watch or whatever. But if you want some extra functionality, the M5 does provide that. The Shanling does not. The Shanling is just an audio player, and it has a clock, but basically the Shanling M0 is just an audio player. The FiiO also records stuff, audio, and also has a very basic step counter built inside of it. So if you want those extra features, that's what the M5 provides. And it has slightly less battery life though. It has 1.5 hours battery life, less than the Shanling, so it might be because it has some extra circuitry built into it and does all those other functions. I'm not sure. But I'm going to test both these out. I think using the Sony earphones that we just saw might be a good candidate to test these out with as far as Bluetooth is concerned, and then to test out the DACs, which use the analog outputs. I'm going to use my good old Astel and Kerr and Michel in-ear monitors to test those out. So anyways, I'm going to test both these out. I'm going to check out the interfaces, because that's pretty important when testing a device of this size. The interface has to work well. And yeah, I'm going to use it both with my Sonys wirelessly, with Bluetooth, LDAC of course. Both of these support LDAC, which should be higher quality than aptX HD. And you can test it out with the Astel and Kerr IEMs as well. And we'll see which one I think is better. Alright guys, so I played around with these two super small, super portable music players using my Sony WF-1000XM3 wireless earbuds, as well as my Astel and Kerr and Michel in-ear monitors. And I have a better sense of the strengths and weaknesses of both of these two players. First of all, I'm going to tell you guys there is no clear winner. Both of them have advantages and disadvantages. But I know now a bit more about the differences between these two. First of all, some things I forgot to explain is that both of these can be used as USB-C DACs, or USB DACs if you connect them to your computer, so that's a cool functionality. Now that I've taken off the clips, you can see that the dimensions of these two are very, very similar. They're almost, yeah, exactly the same dimensions pretty much. The FiiO is slightly, I guess it bulges out a little bit more because of these curved sides, but yeah, they're pretty much the same dimensions. On the back here, the FiiO has a high-res certification and high-res wireless certification. The Shanling M0 doesn't, but if you look at the website, the Shanling M0 does say it's high-res audio certified. But they don't say that they're high-res wireless audio certified. So I'm not sure exactly what the difference is. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Both of these are high-res audio certified. This one is in addition high-res wireless audio certified. It's actually the first player I've seen with that certification. But anyways, and the interface is quite similar. The first thing you'll notice about the display, at least I notice about it, holding these straight up to my face, is that the M5 seems to have a much better display than the M0. It's almost like the difference between an OLED and an IPS display, you know. The M5, this display looks a lot nicer. I'm not sure how well you can see it on the camera, but the M0's looks kind of washed out, whereas the M5 looks like, yeah, it's like the difference between an OLED and IPS. Like it's brighter, it has better contrast. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly the differences of display. They both have the same resolution, and I have the brightness settings turned up to max on both of these units. But the M5 seems to have a much more vivid, better contrast. Looks like a better display. This one just seems a little bit washed out. So I'm not sure how well you can see it on camera, but yeah, to me anyways, the M5 has a much better screen. Just holding it in front of my face right now. One of the difference is when you connect a Bluetooth device to the M0, it'll show you what kind of codec you're using, like LDAC or aptX HD or something. The FiiO does not show anything like that. There's nothing showing here. So that's a useful thing that the M0 does. The M5 doesn't do. See, as you can see, I can have all my statuses right here. Even the time, I don't even see that on the M5. At least I see my time here. My battery life, my indicators and stuff, I don't see that on the M5. You have to go back to the home screen to see that, which is kind of annoying. Right, so the interfaces on these two look very, very similar. As you can see, very, very similar interfaces. The M5 has the shuffle, repeat, whatever loop controls down here, as well as add to playlist and add to favorite. The Shanling, very, very similar. You have the loop, repeat, etc. controls, as well as favorite as well. And then the next screen, you just have to swipe to the right. Both of these will produce a different set of controls. You have add to playlist and information and equalizer on the M0. On the M5, you have a trash can button, which I mean, maybe it means delete the song. Not sure. I'm not sure why they have it on this screen, but anyways, information and equalizer just like on the M0. And then you have a lyrics as well. This is in Chinese, but it means lyrics, and you have that as well on the M0. Yeah, both lyrics. One other thing I would like to note is that on the lock screen on the M5, it tells you what song you play right now. See, it tells you what song you're playing. The M0 does not have that, it seems. Yeah. So the M5 watch faces is a little bit more. I mean, the M0 has a custom watch face, but it doesn't seem to be doesn't have any other complications, right? Other than just the time. Whereas the M5 has other things as well. So this one has 100 stops of volume. 100 stops of volume. It is a lot louder when you go straight through the headphone jack than in Bluetooth, but that's expected since it's using the DAC. Same thing for the FiiO. Yeah, the FiiO has only 60 stops of volume, so it goes all the way up to 60, and that's it. So you might think that the FiiO M5 has less volume, but it doesn't. They actually have around the same range of volume. It's just that the M0 is a lot more granular. Yeah, I think that's the good word. Granular is the word I want to use. So the M0 has 100 stops of volume, so it's more granular. You can more fine-tune it to your desired volume. Whereas the M5, each stop is basically a lot bigger, right? Since it only has 60 volume stops, each stop is a lot bigger. Whereas the M0, you can better fine-tune it. Right, but they both pretty much have the same range. Like if I use the headphone jack on both, because it's using the DAC, it gets a lot louder, so I have it probably at 30. 30 on the M5 will be equivalent to like a 60 here on the M0 if I'm using the headphone jack. And then on Bluetooth, I have to raise the volume a little bit more. I think up to 80 on here and then up to 50 on here. So yeah, they both have about the same volume, like it's the same max volume. It's just that the FiiO has less stops than the M0. So next thing I want to mention is the configurable settings for playing and pausing your tracks. So the FiiO M5 has this button on top, which is the power button, but you can also configure it to do what you want. So I have it configured right now. A single tap turns off the display and turns on the display, and a double tap plays and pauses the music. You can also change it to be the opposite. You can do a double tap to turn on and off the display, or a single tap to play and pause. The Shanling, I have it configured to something similar as well. Single tap turn on and off the display, and a double tap to play and pause the music. Yeah. Right now I don't have this file, but I have it configured so a double tap can play and pause the music, much like the M5 does. So both of them are configurable like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But you can configure the M0 as well to play the next track or play the previous track as well on a double tap. So you can configure the side buttons, the on buttons, basically to do whatever you want. So I just want to mention that. But both of them have very similar interfaces. Yep. See, that's very similar. down to this. The parent menus, all very similar as well. Yep, so you can see both have the now playing. The indicators on top are slightly different. Yeah, and you swipe down from the top on the M5 to get access to your shortcuts, and you swipe from the bottom or swipe up on the M0 to get access to the same controls. So it's like opposite, right? This one you also have access to Bluetooth and stuff like that. So we have a little bit more control here, but yeah, this one you swipe from the top here on the M5 and you swipe from the bottom on the M0, so it's like opposite. And yeah, you go to the next one, browse files. We have my music here in folders, which is the same thing as browse files. That's the same. You have an equalizer here. You can adjust on the settings on the M5. Bluetooth receiver, that's a feature that the M0 does not have, I think. Settings, this one is system, basically the same thing. And then that's it for the M0. This one in addition has recording, which the M0 cannot do. No microphones on the M0. And a step counter, which the M0 also does not do. And category, which I think is similar to my music here. So basically the M5, in addition to everything the M0 does, also has a step counter and recording and Bluetooth receiver as well. And let's go into the system. Bluetooth transmitter, again, something M0 does not do. Play settings, you can do the max volume, balance equalizer. There is no custom equalizer here, just you can select from a preset amount of equalizer. Whereas in the M0 you can actually select custom equalizers. So this custom EQ too as well. You can do the custom ones here as well as the pre-selects. The M5 does not do any custom ones. They both have gapless playback. System settings, let's look at that. Again, you can change your real shortcuts here, what you want to do on double click, previous, next. I have it set to play pause. You can even have triple click do something on the M0. So it's a little bit more fine-tuned on the M0 what you can do here. Yep, you can do a USB DAC, you can change the theme. I'll just keep it the default one. And you have it both set to max brightness in USB mode. Again, you can change the lock screen here. You can have it, you have no lock screen, and they'll be just like the M0, no lock screen. Clock face, something you can change on the M5 that you can't do on the M0. So this is the second clock face right here. And the third clock face, kind of tacky. Fourth one, yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I only got 5 clock faces. That's all you get. And then stick with the first one. Yeah. Spit if output, again, this has a coaxial out. I don't think the M0 can do that. You can adjust your settings for what the double click thing does. Again, it's not as fine-tuned as the M0. You can even raise your hand to turn off the screen. But yeah, that's about it. That is about it. My experience using this is, at least using the DAC and the analog output into my in-ear monitors, the sound doesn't seem too different. So the DACs on both of these are pretty good. Yeah, I did not notice any significant difference in quality of the sound. Bluetooth is not as loud as wired, but both of these gave pretty decent Bluetooth performance as well. One thing I did like about the M0 is that when you do connect the Bluetooth, it tells you what mode you can use. You can do LDAC, LDAC normal, you can choose aptX, SPC, AAC, etc. Does not have that setting on the M5. I think you cannot be as granular here. Yeah, there's no other settings here, so I like the fact that M0 is more granular, it seems. But yeah, Alright, so now you kind of know the pros and cons of each device. Actually, both of them can have a lock screen. The M5 has one of 5 different watch faces, like I've showed before, whereas the M0 has kind of a custom lock screen that you can customize with whatever image you want. You just go to lock screen, and yeah, you can customize it to whatever you want here. Any image. It just comes with this weird default image. I'm not sure what it really is, but anyways, you can customize it there. So yeah, the pros and cons. The M5, I like the display. The display is definitely better than the M0. I mean, yeah, you can see a better contrast. It's brighter. I like the extra functionality. You have a step counter, recorder, Bluetooth receiver. Those are all things that the M0 can't do. There's no microphones on here. It has coaxial out. Again, something that the M0 can't do. The M0's strength seems to be with the granular settings. So you have 100 stops of volume, only 60 stops of volume here. You can customize your EQ. You can customize this button on the side to do a double click or triple click to skip tracks or play or pause, whereas this one can only be customized to play or pause a track, and it can't triple click to do anything. You get to see your statuses on the now playing screen. Your Bluetooth status, the type of Bluetooth you're using. This one, you don't see any of that until you go to the home screen. So it's a little bit annoying that you can't see that. And you have more functionalities on that screen as well. So you can change, you can even see the lyrics, and there's even a lyrics mode, I believe. Yeah, you can even change the mode and even the theme of this, which you can't do on the M5. So if I were to say in a few words, if you like the screen and you like to have the voice recorder or Bluetooth receiver, step counter and stuff like that, then get the M5 if that's important to you. Get the M0 if you like to have more custom functionality, because this one you can definitely do a little bit more with it than the M5 right now. I don't know, maybe in the future M5 can update with a firmware update or something like that, but for now the M0 seems like you can customize it more. So do you want to have more functionality or you want to have more customization is where I would put these two right now. You might be wondering why get this when you can get a smartwatch. You can get like an Android Wear or an Apple Watch. Well, if you just care about listening to music, then these are probably the way to go. They're cheaper, I think, after all. They're $100 each. You'll pay at least $300 for a smartwatch, or at least $200 or $300 for one of the brand name smartwatches at least. And they won't have good audio. You'll still have to connect to your phone. You have to tether it to your phone to get some music. This one, both of them accept SD cards, so you don't need to tether anything to your phone to listen to music. And that's basically the main selling point of these devices. They're not too expensive, definitely not as expensive as phones. You can they're offline music players basically. Sure, they can't stream audio. I know like a lot of people are streaming music on Spotify or Tidal these days, but for those of us old school people who like to listen to offline music, yeah, these are probably the way to go. Just stick them all onto all your high-res audio onto the micro SD cards, and that's it, you know. Just listen to some high-quality music. Yeah, if you don't need any of the other fancy apps and stuff like that. I'm kind of old school. I don't use Tidal, I don't use Spotify, I don't use those fancy streaming apps and stuff like that. I just have all my music offline, so these are better for me. But if you're, you know, like the kind of guy who just uses like normal person, you know, uses Spotify, Netflix, and streams everything, then a smartwatch is probably better. But for me, yeah, kind of a niche type of user, then these gadgets are probably better. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little comparison between the M5 and the Shanling M0. They both have their pros and cons. Yeah, let me know your comments below in the comment section, and I'll try to get back to them and be as helpful as I can. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.